Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today I want to share about something I really came to realize this past year, or actually not even that long ago, at around the end of August, I think. So I love my kids so very much, like insanely. Like I am so incredibly grateful that I can be a mom to two amazing, beautiful children. The thing is, I also love helping people and making a difference in other people's lives. It's just this thing that I really feel like drawn to. Like if I don't do it, I just feel empty. So it's like these two sides. I've always wanted to be a mom, and I've actually never known, I guess everything I've also done as an entrepreneur, I've always wanted to help people. It's like if I look back, those are my two major things, being a mom and helping people have always been at the forefront of what I do. And I know, I probably mentioned this throughout one of the episodes, but when we moved, I told my husband, it's like, I'll stay home for the year with our son because here in BC, they don't have junior kindergarten like they do in Ontario. So my son was supposed to go to kindergarten last year, but he didn't. He stayed home with me. I was like, you know what? Let's not find daycare. Like, I'll stay home. I'll be with him. With the world being crazy too. Like it was easier to say I'll stay home. I'll take a year and I'll back away from my business and things like that. But very short-lived because I felt like I realized that I needed to keep helping people. Like it was part of how I filled my cup. So I want to get into a little story here. One night after everybody went to bed, I started to think about how much I gave up this past year and a half. The year of crazy, I call it. The year of major change. We moved across the country. In that moment, or really little moments strung together, I realized I almost lost myself and who I am. I was busy doing because I think I should do this or that. Like I was just lost in the shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. I'm staying home with my son. I should do this. Trying to be there for everybody but myself. Having my self-care fell to the end of my to-do list. And not doing the things that really brought me joy. Or at least not as often. Like I found, I had these huge to-do lists. And it's like, I don't even know if I was on them, to be honest. And then, even the things that brought me joy, little by little, they weren't on my to-do list either. Or they'd only happen sporadically. When I really realized, I'm like, whoa, my cup is empty. I need to fill it. Cleaning started to take over my me time and the time with my husband. I was like, what happened? So here I am sitting in these moments, realizing like, what happened? Where did I go wrong? Here I am talking about self-love, self-care, and here I am making me less and less of a priority over and over and over. How did things get so out of control? Now, this past year hasn't been all bad. In fact, there was a lot of awesomenesses. Really, I think it hasn't been this year where I mostly lost myself, but really the summer really hit. And I had these plans of how I was going to take care of myself, how I was going to make me a priority, even though I have both kids home. But wow, having the two kids home all the time, working, trying to keep the house running, getting ready for my in-laws to visit. And that's a whole other story for a whole other day. Doing and doing and doing. As the summer went on, my energy, zest for life, my light, my awesomeness slowly faded. I got caught up in life. I jumped on that sailboat called life, and the sails just took me wherever I let life take me. I lost my footing. I got ungrounded. My roots were kind of ripped up and I was flying, not grounded in who I am, who I want to be, how I'm feeling. I kind of let my feelings kind of take on the day. It was not fun. But you know what's really cool? I had that moment where I realized that life took over. Sometimes it can take us years and years, or even a couple months or months and months or years and years to realize that we let life control us, take control of our lives, the situations, and let it really run the show. Mine was probably a month or maybe a month and a half, maybe less, where I was like, whoa, hold the phone. This is not what I want my life to feel like or look like. And in that moment, I started making me a priority again, making a plan of how to take care of me, how to fill up my cup, how to implement things, how to change things. We already have ideas for next year how to make the summer a little less, let's go a little less crazy. So one of the things I would have done in the past was I would have been like, whoa, like I would have beat myself up. I would have gotten really mad that I realized that I didn't take care of me. Like if something happened, I would have lost it on myself. I would have beat myself up. But instead, in that moment, it's like, whoa. And I hit the pause button. I talked to my husband, shared how I was feeling. And of course, he's super supportive. So he was just like, how can I help? And like, obviously, like for me, I have to work through things myself first. And then I go back and ask him for support. Like, okay, how about this? Like, and I come up with plans and stuff like that. So we have ideas what next summer could look like. Obviously, though, we have ideas. A whole year is going to happen. Our kids are going to grow. Things are going to change. But we have ideas now. But I didn't let what I did, like me not, like kind of me forgetting about me. I didn't beat myself up. I accepted what happened, where I am. I'm looking, I'm like, whoa, here I am. This is here. This is how I got here. Now, what can I do to change it? And like I said, we've come up with a plan for next year. We're going to file it in the back, of our mind. We have a plan of getting more support. So it's not just me taking both kids and trying to juggle my work and everything. Everything. Too many balls, not enough hands, really, is what happened. And we have plans. And now with school started and both kids are in school, really getting grounded again with like a solid routine, a plan, getting more support around us and things like that. And I share this story with you for a couple of reasons. The first and the biggest one is I want you to know that even though I live my life and I've had this self-love journey and I focus on love, or at least I try most days, is, I'm human. We're all human and things happen. We lose sight of things. We lose sight of ourselves. It happens. And I've been on this self-love journey for over a decade and I still get knocked down by life. It's about how we come back, how we handle situations more than anything else that really sets us up for, moving forward. I could have beat myself up. I could have and then, but I accepted. I was like, whoa, like what happened? I actually, I'm trying to remember that day. Because I wrote notes about it. And, I was probably in tears and I felt like everybody was asleep. My husband goes to bed pretty much, especially in the summer. He was going to bed exactly when the kids would go to bed or even earlier. So here I am, I'm getting the kids to bed. He says goodnight to the kids. I say goodnight to him. He goes to bed. The kids will slowly go to bed. My daughter stays up, she's at that point where she tries to stay up as late as possible, especially in the summertime. She was doing that. So I was up. Sometimes my daughter and I would stay up together for a while and, have some mommy-daughter time. And then, finally I was alone. Probably for the first time all day. and I'd finally, it's small moments having time to feel, you can get really lost when go, when life is busy. So if you are in that situation right now where you're listening to this, but if you're listening to this means at least you have a little time to yourself because you have a chance to listen. But if you found yourself where life is busy and you're not having a lot of quiet time, I lovingly encourage you to try your best to find even 5-10 minutes to just be, to check in. Because when we don't check in with ourselves, that is how life can get control of the situation and take our lives, without us realizing it, into a direction that we don't even know. Like there was definitely moments this past summer where I had times where I'm like, whoa, I need time for me. But I believe it was in August, so the second half of our summer, where I was just going, getting ready for my in-laws to visit. And my to-do list was, I needed an army to finish my to-do list. So that the thought that I could do it all by myself is crazy, for one. And also, looking back now, I was like, why was I even stressed about my to-do list? There was a couple weeks there, and then I kind of just let it go. I'm like, whatever. And actually, in all honesty, I haven't even had a to-do list. I'm starting it because I'm getting into work and I have a routine. But for about 2, possibly 3 or 4 weeks now, I don't think I've had a to-do list because it was running my summer and I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I do find, though, I get things accomplished if I have a to-do list, but I actually gave myself a break. I was like, I'm not going to have one for a while. Let's just kind of let life flow, enjoy my kids' home and things like that. However, like I said, I do like to have a to-do list, but I don't need to have a crazy long one. What are my, getting back to what I tell everybody else is, what is that one thing I need to accomplish today or would like to accomplish today? So here I am, I have this amazing podcast that I love doing, and I love helping people. I love supporting people and encouraging people and motivating people. And I needed to listen to my own words. I have a lot of things I re-listen to. And even when my husband edits the podcast, he loves doing it because, he gets little tips and he gets inspired and motivated as well. And so I too have to listen to my own words from time to time. Again, not perfect. I'm a human being. And it's not about, what happened, but it's how we come back from it that really, sets us apart from the ones that, might not be, on a self-love journey. Like, I'm so grateful to have been on my self-love journey for so long that when I get off of it, like when I kind of get off kilter or completely, not even just off kilter, like completely off the chair, and that happens. Or sometimes we completely are so far off, and that's okay too. So dusting yourself off, giving yourself a big loving hug, taking a deep breath, and figuring out what the next step is. Just do the next right thing. And for me, that was doing at least one thing for me. So wherever you are in your self-love journey, be gentle and loving to yourself. Maybe you've been on it for a long time and maybe you feel like it's taking forever to really get to know yourself or to stop beating yourself up or whatever it may be. Life happens to all of us, to every single one of us. So just take a moment and step forward lovingly into your day, into the next moment, and try and do it with so much love in your heart. And know that we're all human and we all have moments that are less pretty, less awesome, but that can all change with a little love. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.